Okay, good afternoon, students. Just tell me, am I audible to all? Am I audible? Yes, okay. See, in the last lectures, we have discussed many topics related to our first unit and our second unit. So, in the last lecture, we have completed uh, the basic terminologies or the revision part of unit number 1, in which I have explained you what is economics, what is economy, then what are the basic economic problems, how to solve the basic economic problems using the economic theory, concept, tools, techniques. Then what is managerial economics? Managerial economics is the application of economic concept, economic theory, then managerial economics in decision making. So in business point of view, decision is related with to produce, hey, what to produce, how to produce, production schedule, and most important is profit maximization. So for that type of decision making, how the techniques of managerial economics is useful for analyzing the economic tools and techniques for taking an adequate business decision. So I have already explained the various steps. That was 6 to 7 steps was there, that to explain how the managerial economics helps in decision making. Then we have also discussed the main important parts, that is Baumol's theory, which is a dynamic model as well as the static model, in which he focuses on the sales maximization. Profit maximization is one of the most important or primary objectives of every business organization. But as per the Baumils, he said that the sales maximization is the first priority of every business point of view. So how to maximize the sales, which automatically grows your business, and finally it will be useful for making or maximum profit the business can be raises through their business. Sorry. Then demand analysis, that is demand, desire plus ability to pay, and the actual purchase of that particular product, that is a demand. Law of demand, which indicates other things remain constant, that is assumption. Every assumption has some exceptions. So, as per the Dr. Marshall, there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. Price decreases, demand increases, whereas price increases, demand decreases. But in the last lecture, we had also discussed the very important part, that is elasticity of demand. But I have received most of the messages, most of the students message me, and they request me that, sir, please explain the elasticity of demand again. So now see, I'm going to explain this elasticity of demand, and then we will start for the demand forecasting. Okay, the methods of demand forecasting. But see, what is elasticity of demand? सिंपल लँग्वेजमध्ये तुम्हाला सांगतो. लॉ ऑफ डिमांड काय सांगते? प्राइस कमी झाली डिमांड वाढते, प्राइस वाढली की डिमांड कमी होते. बट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड मीन्स व्हॉट? इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड रिप्रेझेंट द रिस्पॉन्सिव्हनेस ऑफ डिमांड ड्यू टू चेंज इन प्राइस. म्हणजेच काय, की प्राइसमध्ये असा किती चेंज झाला, म्हणजे ₹1 प्राइस कमी झाली, तर अशी किती क्वांटिटीने डिमांड वाढली, किंवा ₹1 प्राइस वाढली, तर अशी किती क्वांटिटीने डिमांड कमी झाली. इट मीन्स द इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड रिप्रेझेंट्स द responsiveness of demand due to change in price. So, according to Professor Lipsey, he said that elasticity of demand may be defined as the ratio of the percentage change in demand to the percentage change in price. So, elasticity of demand is defined as the percentage change in quantity demanded due to percentage change in its price. So, elasticity of demand is symbolized as the E, that is the elasticity. E indicates elasticity. So in economics, elasticity is the measurement of how changing one economic variable that affects the other. म्हणजे the law of demand shows the law of demand in which we discuss that the there is an inverse relationship between price and demand. As the price changes, the demand can be affected. But here, the elasticity of demand measures or it gives or it represents the responsiveness of demand due to the change in the price. So elasticity is the measurement of how changing one economic variable that affects to the others. There are three types of elasticity of demand. See, this question is again very important for your examination point of view. So there are three main types of elasticity of demand. First is price elasticity, second is income elasticity, and third is your cross elasticity of demand. As far as talking about the price elasticity of demand, the price elasticity of demand is explained as the percentage change in quantity demanded due to percentage change in the price. Then income elasticity of demand, second type. The income elasticity of demand is explained as the percentage change in quantity demanded due to percentage change in the income of the consumers. And third type is cross elasticity of demand. So the income elasticity of demand is explained as the percentage change in quantity demanded of product X due to the percentage change in the price of product Y, which is substitute to product. Cross elasticity here indicates the substitutes goods as well as the complementary goods. So again, price elasticity of demand there are five types of price elasticity of demand. First is a perfectly elastic demand, perfectly inelastic demand, relatively elastic demand, relatively inelastic demand, unitary elastic demand. Then the price elasticity of demand. So here there are the five types of price elasticity of demand, that is perfectly elastic. See, the first type is a perfectly elastic demand. What is perfectly elastic demand? लक्षात घ्या, मी काय सांगतोय ते व्यवस्थित नीट लक्षात घ्या. आपल्याला लॉ ऑफ डिमांडमध्ये आपण एक स्टेटमेंट केलं की प्राइस आणि डिमांड यांचा परस्पर संबंध आहे. म्हणजे प्राइस कमी झाली की डिमांड वाढते आणि प्राइस जर कधी वाढली तर डिमांड कमी होते. पण ती कशी, त्याचं जे काही मेजरमेंट आहे दॅट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड हिअर इट एक्सप्लेन्स. म्हणजे इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड त्याचं मेजरमेंट एक्सप्लेन करते. मग त्याच्या तीन टाईप्स आहेत. कसं मेजरमेंट करते, तर प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी म्हणजे प्राइस बदलली की डिमांडमध्ये कसा फरक होतो ते इंडिकेट करते. सेकंड इज इन्कम ऑफ द कन्झ्युमर, म्हणजे इन्कम इलास्टिसिटी म्हणजे इन्कम ऑफ द कन्झ्युमरचं बदललं की त्याचा डिमांडवर कसा परिणाम होतो, दॅट इज सेकंड टाईप. आणि थर्ड टाईप इज अ क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटी, म्हणजे जे काही सबस्टिट्यूट्स असतात, समजा कार आहे, पेट्रोल आहे, दोन एकमेकांवर डिपेंड आहे. चहा आहे, कॉफी आहे, सॉरी चहा म्हटलं म्हणजे तिथे सबस्टिट्यूट आले, साखर, चहा पावडर, अशा या दोन गोष्टी मिळून चहा तयार होतो. बरोबर आहे. सो अगेन दूध, अशा तीन गोष्टी मिळून तो चहा तयार होतो. सो दॅट इज अ सबस्टिट्यूट गुड्स ऑर कॉम्प्लिमेंटरी गुड्स, वी कॅन से दॅट. मग यांच्यामध्ये बदल झाला, यांच्या प्राइसमध्ये बदल झाला की डिमांडवर कसा इफेक्ट होतो हे क्रॉस इलास्टिसिटीमध्ये दाखवलं जाते. So now see, the first type is a price elasticity of demand. मग again price elasticity of demand. So there are five types of price elasticity of demand. मग त्यातला पहिला टाइप कुठला, तो perfectly elastic demand. So the perfectly elastic demand here, it indicates that when the demand increases infinitely, when the demand increases infinitely due to small fall or no fall in the price. म्हणजे त्यांचं असं म्हणणं आहे की समजा एखाद्या वस्तूची किंमत अगदी 1 रुपयाने किंवा 10 पैशांनी, म्हणजे अगदी स्मॉल चेंज इन प्राइस त्याचा डिमांडवर, म्हणजे चेंज समजा अगदी 10 पैशांनी जरी प्राइस कमी झाली, 10 पैसे म्हणजे व्हॉट इट इंडिकेट्स, इट इज अ स्मॉल चेंज इन द प्राइस if the price is decreases in the small amount but it has effect that the demand increases infinitely, that is called perfectly elastic. म्हणजे समजा एखादी वस्तू अशी आहे की त्याची नुसती 1 रुपयाने जरी किंमत कमी झाली तरी त्याच्या क्वांटिटी डिमांडेडमध्ये भरपूर घट होते किंवा भरपूर वाढ होते, वाईस वर्सा. तर त्या केसमध्ये दॅट इज कॉल्ड ॲज अ परफेक्टली इलास्टिक डिमांड. सेकंड टाईप इज अ परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक, एक्झॅक्टली द अपोजिट. म्हणजे परफेक्टली इलास्टिकमध्ये आपण बघितलं की इफ अ स्मॉल चेंज इन द or small fall in the price of the product will result in the large quantity or the demand increases infinitely. That is the case of perfectly elastic. But perfectly inelastic, in this case, when the demand for a product does not increase or decrease, whatever the changes into the price मध्ये कमी हो का प्राइस वाढो, but it has no impact on the quantity demanded for the product. So this is the case of perfectly inelastic. Unitary elastic, it indicates when the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in the price of product. So it is called unitary elastic demand. Unitary elastic demand means what? When the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in the price of the product, it is called unitary elasticity demand. It means जेवढी प्राइस कमी होते तेवढ्याच क्वांटिटीनी डिमांड वाढते किंवा जेवढी प्राइस ही कमी होते तेवढ्याच क्वांटिटीने डिमांड वाढते, अँड वाईस वर्सा. फॉर एक्झाम्पल से द प्राइस ऑफ कमोडिटी फॉल्स बाय 10%. समजा एखाद्या वस्तूची किंमत 10% कमी झाली, द डिमांड इन्क्रीजेस बाय 10%. म्हणजे जेवढी कमी तेवढी वाढ, जेवढी वाढ तेवढी कमी. सो that case or that is the situation of unitary elastic demand. Then number 4 is a relatively elastic demand. So relatively elastic demand means what? See, in some commodities, when the percentage change in demand is greater than the percentage change in price. See, say for example, if there is a greater change in demand as compared to small change in price, so it is called highly elastic demand. Say for example, if the price falls by 10%, समजा 10% प्राइस कमी झाली, if the price falls by 10%, but the demand rises by 20%. So it means more than 10%. So it is called as elastic demand. Similarly, the demand for goods such as air cooler or luxurious car, televisions. So these are the examples of relatively elastic demand. Okay, and the type number 4 is a relatively inelastic demand. What is relatively inelastic demand? See, in some commodities, when the percentage change in demand is less than the percentage change in price. See, in some commodities, when the percentage change in quantity demanded or demand for the product is less than the percentage change in the price. So there is the situation of relatively less change in demand as compared to change in the price. That time it is called as highly inelastic demand. Say for example, if the price falls by 10% and demand rises only by 5%. सी इन द लास्ट केस रिलेटिव्हली इलास्टिक डिमांडमध्ये काय झालं, प्राइस 10% कमी झाली पण डिमांड 20% वाढली. सो दॅट इज द केस ऑफ रिलेटिव्हली ऑर हायली इलास्टिक डिमांड. But here, relatively inelastic demand, here if the price falls by 10%, but the demand rises by 5%, it means less than the 10%. So it is considered to be inelastic demand or relatively inelastic demand. See, so this is the case of a elastic demand and inelastic demand. So I think you should understand this concept. See, elasticity of demand means what? It measures the responsiveness of the change in the demand as the prices change, as the prices of the product changes. So there are three types of elasticity of demand. First type is a price elasticity. So again, there are five types of price elasticity of demand. So first type is a perfectly elastic. Perfectly elastic means, it means the small change. See, perfectly elastic, when the demand increases infinitely or largely due to the small change in the price or due to the small fall in the price. So it is the case of perfectly elastic. In perfectly inelastic, when the demand for a product does not increase or decrease, it remains same due to the change in the price. So it is said to be perfectly inelastic demand. Unitary elastic. So when the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in the price of a product, then it is called unitary elasticity of demand. Then relatively elastic, it means highly elastic. So when some commodities or when the percentage change in demand is greater than the percentage change in the price, so this is the situation of relatively elastic or highly elastic. And what is relatively inelastic or relatively or highly inelastic? So when the percentage change in demand is less than the percentage change in the price. So this is the types of price elasticity of demand, and recently I have explained you the five types of price elasticity of demand. So now see the income elasticity of demand. The second type of a elasticity of demand is a income. पहिला कुठला पाहिला आपण प्राइस. प्राइसचे पाच टाईप. आता सेकंड टाईप इज अ इन्कम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड. Again that income elasticity of demand. आता income elasticity of demand means what? See, the income elasticity of demand is defined as the percentage change in the quantity demanded for a commodity due to percentage change in the income of the consumer. Okay, whatever the quantity of the product changes due to the change in the income of the people is called as income elasticity of demand. प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड म्हणजे काय? प्राइस प्रोडक्टची प्राइस बदलली की त्याचा डिमांडवर जसा परिणाम होतो दॅट इज कॉल्ड प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी. पण क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड म्हणजे प्रॉडक्टच्या डिमांडवर जो परिणाम होतो कमी किंवा जास्त ॲज द चेंजेस इन द इन्कम ऑफ द कंझ्युमर, कंझ्युमरचं इन्कम बदलल्यामुळे जे चेंजेस होतात दॅट इज कॉल्ड इन्कम इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड. So again, there are the five types of income elasticity of demand. Now see, the first type is a high income elasticity of demand. Means what? Say, for example, when the demand of the commodity increases. See, when the demand of the commodity increases by a large percentage as compared with the income of the consumer, then this is the case of income elasticity of demand is high. Second type is a unitary income elasticity. So it is the case when the percentage change in quantity demanded is equal to the percentage change in income. So this is the case of income elasticity demand is unitary. Again, low income elasticity. In that case, when the demand of the commodity increases by a smaller percentage as compared with the increase in the income of the consumer. So this is the case of income elasticity of demand is low. When zero income elasticity, when the demand of a commodity remains unchanged upon the change of income, so in that case the income elasticity of demand is zero. Then the negative income elasticity. So when demand of a commodity falls due to an increase in income, so the income elasticity of demand is changed, or that is called negative changes. See, this is very important and very simple to understand, but you have to clear your concept, you clear your basic concept. Price elasticity, which indicates as the price of the product changes, so it will affect whether positively or negatively in under the price elasticity of demand. Then second type, income of the consumer. Income of the consumer changes, then automatically it will affect on the quantity demanded for the particular product. So whatever may be the changes or whatever may be the impact of income changes of the consumer on quantity demanded by the consumer, here we can comes or here it this concept comes under the income elasticity of demand. Now the point number 3 is, or type number 3 is, a cross elasticity of demand. Cross elasticity, see, cross elasticity is what? It is of demand measures. It measures the demand, the change in quantity demanded of a particular commodity due to change in the price of another commodity. लक्षात घ्या. जसं इथे एक्झाम्पल, समजा आता चहा ही एक वस्तू आपण घेतली, समजा चहा हे एक प्रोडक्ट आहे, पण हे सबस्टिट्यूट्स, त्याचे सबस्टिट्यूट्स आहे. देर आर 3 सबस्टिट्यूट्स. यू रिक्वायर्ड मिल्क, यू रिक्वायर्ड शुगर, यू रिक्वायर्ड चाय पत्ती. Okay, so these all are very important. If the price of even one product changes, can affect to their substitutes product. If the price of the sugar increases, if the price of the sugar increases, again it will badly affect on the demand of the tea. So whatever the price changes of the substitute product, it may be positively or negatively affected on the quantity demanded, is called as a cross elasticity of demand. So cross elasticity of demand measures the change in quantity demanded of a particular commodity due to change in the price of another commodity. So a change in the demand for one good, say thumbs up, in response to a change in the price of its substitutes good, Coca-Cola represents cross elasticity of demand of the former goods, that is thumbs up. So substitutes goods, it if the cross elasticity of demand is positive, see, again cross elasticity has two types, that is substitute goods and complementary goods. So what is substitute goods? If the cross elasticity of demand is positive, it means, say for example, the greater is the substitutability between the two products. So it will the large of the positive impact on the cross elasticity of the product. And complementary, so when cross elasticity is negative, we know that product A and B are used together. So an increase in the price of one, so decreases of the demand of the other. So there are two are the complementary. So see, whatever the positive impact due to the change in the price of the substitute, that is called as positive demand of substitute goods. But whenever the there are two products, but whatever the changes of price may impact on the other product, it may comes under the negative impact of elasticity or negative impact of a cross elasticity. So the substitute goods and complementary goods plays an important role while understanding the entire concept of elasticity of demand. So I hope you understand it very well. See, elasticity of demand is nothing but the responsiveness, is nothing but the responsiveness of demand due to change in the price. So due to change in the price is called as price elasticity. Due to change in the income of the consumer is called as income elasticity. Due to the change in the substitute or complementary, it is called as cross elasticity. So these are the three types, that is price elasticity of demand, income elasticity of demand, cross elasticity of demand. So again, price elasticity of demand has five types, that is perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, relatively inelastic, and unitary elastic. Income elasticity of demand, high income elasticity, low income elasticity, unitary income elasticity, zero income elasticity, and negative income elasticity. And cross elasticity of demand, so substitute goods and complementary goods are two types of a cross elasticity of demand. So these are the types of demand. Then Again, the one important question mostly asked, or for multiple choice question, this question is very important. Importance of elasticity of demand. See, what is the importance of elasticity of demand? We can say importance for finance minister. Importance for finance minister. How? See, before preparing tax structure, the finance minister considers the elasticity of demand of various goods. If the demand is inelastic, he can increase the tax. म्हणजे जेव्हा त्यांना कळते की इनइलास्टिक म्हणजे काय, की एखादा प्रॉडक्ट आहे, त्याची प्राइस कमी हो का जास्त हो, बरोबर आहे, पण त्याच्या डिमांडवर काहीच फरक पडत नाही, म्हणजेच इनइलास्टिक. तर अशा वेळेला फायनान्स मिनिस्टर काय करतात, इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांडचा अभ्यास करतात. म्हणजे ज्या प्रॉडक्टच्या प्राईसवर परिणाम, म्हणजे काही प्राईस केली, कमी केली का वाढवली काय, त्याच्या डिमांडवर काही परिणाम होत नाही, असं टॅक्स स्ट्रक्चर तयार करताना पहिले अशा इलास्टिसिटीचा अभ्यास करतात. म्हणून म्हटलेलं आहे की importance for finance minister. What are the importance of elasticity of demand? So it is important for finance minister. How? Before preparing tax structure, the finance minister considers the elasticity of demand of various goods. If the demand is inelastic, he can increase the tax and thus can collect large revenue. Second is the importance for the monopolist. See, when a monopolist finds that demand for the product is inelastic, well, he can fix the price at higher level. Otherwise, he fixes a lower price for his product. समजा एखादी वस्तू एकाकडेच मिळत असेल, बरोबर आहे. तो काय करणार, त्याला माहिती आहे ही वस्तू फक्त माझ्याचकडे आहे, म्हणजे तो काय करणार, त्याची प्राइस वाटेल तशी वाढवणार. कारण कितीही जरी प्राइस ठेवली तर त्याच्या डिमांडवर काही परिणाम होतच नाही आहे. म्हणजे दॅट इज कॉल्ड मोनोपोलिस्ट. सो मोनोपोलिस्ट हॅज ऑल्सो स्टडीड दिस पॉईंट. Then fixation of wages. If a demand for a specific skilled labor is inelastic, so it is easy to increase their wages, otherwise not. Again, for international trade, how elasticity of demand is important. See, if the demand of commodity is inelastic, so heavy duties can be imposed on its import and export. Again, terms of trade. The terms of trade between two countries are based on the elasticity of demand for the traded goods. And next is a importance for the businessman and manufacturers. When the demand of a particular good is elastic, businessman increases his sale by lowering the price. If the demand is inelastic, then he fixes high prices. Manufacturers also studies elasticity of demand before fixing the price for their product. So this is all about the elasticity of demand. Okay. Again, there are different methods are given with the methods of measurement of price elasticity of demand. आता जसं आपण प्राइस इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड बघितलं, त्याचे 5 टाइप्स बघितले. सो अगेन देअर आर सम मेथड इज गिवन, म्हणजे हाऊ द रिस्पॉन्सिव्हनेस कॅन बी कॅल्क्युलेटेड or can be measured through the percentage method, total outlay method or total expenditure method, point method and arc method. So these are 4 types of methods are given here for analyzing or for calculating the or for measuring the price elasticity of the demand. Okay, so in short, I can explain you this. See, percentage method is one of the commonly used method of measuring price elasticity of demand. In this method, the price elasticity is measured in terms of rate of percentage change in quantity demanded to percentage change in the price. Okay. Total outlay method मध्ये काय होते, it is also known as total expenditure method of measuring price elasticity of demand, was developed by Professor Alfred Marshall. Under this method, the price elasticity of demand can be measured by comparing total expenditure on a commodity before and after the price change. It helps us in categorizing the commodity in different types of elasticity. Point method. So according to Marshall, elasticity of demand will be different on each point of a commodity curve. So this method is applied when there is a small change in price and quantity demanded of the commodity. And arc method. So any 2 points on the demand curve make an arc. It means the coefficient. I think most of the BSc students has know this concept, that is coefficient and correlation. So, so this method applied while calculating the price elasticity of demand when price or quantity demanded of the commodity is highly changed. So there are some importance, or there are some uh, various examples are given. Okay, so have you understand this concept elasticity of demand, which is very important to understand, and even examination point of view, this is very useful. So please interact, please give me some answer, at least tell me something that whether you are understanding the concept or not. If you have any query, please tell me, I can repeat it, I can explain you again. ऑनलाईन लेक्चर सध्या सुरू आहेत. फेस टू फेस इंटरॅक्शन असलं की तुमच्या चेहऱ्यावरनं आम्हाला कळून जाते की तुम्हाला समजलं आहे की नाही. जर नसेल समजला तर तो सोप्या सोप्या भाषेत समजावून सांगण्याचा आम्ही प्रयत्न करतो. बट दिस इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट कन्सेप्ट इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड. हॅव यू अंडरस्टँड? प्लीज से समथिंग. समाधान इंगडे लेफ्ट. यस. Bhakti Kokre is there, Saili Gore is there, Dayanand, Sushi, Vijaya, Zair Enise. Have you understand? Are you there or not? तिथे आहात का स्टुडंट? हां, येस. सुशील, हां बोला जरा थोडं. सुशील, समजतंय का सगळं? मी विशेष विशेष कौतुक करेल या सगळ्या स्टुडंट्सचं, जे तुम्ही सगळे रोज असतात. गौरव असेल, सुशील असेल, दयानंद रोज असतो, भक्ती असते, विजया असते, सगळेच जण जे आत्ता प्रेझेंट आहेत ते रोज सगळेजण असतात. सुशील, समजली का कन्सेप्ट काय होती काय नाही? लक्ष होतं का तुझं पूर्ण? खरं सांग. होतं? हा, हे बघा मला काय काय कनेक्टिव्हिटीचा. अच्छा, हा, ठीक आहे ठीक आहे, काही काही प्रॉब्लेम नाही. हां, हां. पण हे बघा, आता एक लक्षात घ्या, भरपूर स्टुडंट्सच्या मला रिक्वेस्ट असतात, की सर थोडं मराठीतनं एक्सप्लेन करा, म्हणून तुम्हाला समजावं असं थोडं मी इंग्लिश मराठी असं कॉम्बिनेशन तुम्हाला सांगतो. बट फायनली ॲट द एंड सेमिस्टर you should write your paper in English only. So for that purpose, you are at least trying to understand all the concept in English, as well as you can read newspaper daily. तुम्हाला तुमचं इंग्लिश सुधारण्यासाठी न्यूजपेपर डेली वाचावे लागतील. थोडा तुमचे हे पुस्तकच जे आहेत त्याच्यातनं तुमचा अभ्यास डेली करा. आणि फायनली तुम्हाला जी काही एक्झाम आहे ती तुम्हाला म्हणजे तिथे सगळं इंग्लिशमधूनच तुम्हाला विचारणार. त्यामुळे सो डोंट वरी अबाउट दिस. बेसिक इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग इज व्हॉट? टू अंडरस्टँड द बेसिक टर्म्स, बेसिक कन्सेप्ट्स of entire subject. See, our subject name is economic analysis for business decision. Economic analysis for business decision. It means what? For taking an adequate business decision, you have to analyze the economic tools and techniques. So for that purpose, you should understand the basic concepts of economics. So once you understand what is economics, now you know what is economics, that economics is the study of human behavior. The next question is what? Economics is the study of human behavior. It means you have to analyze the economic activity, means the human behavior. You have to analyze their behavior, their likes, their dislikes, their habits, trends, fashions. So that things you should know. For what? For what? To solve your basic economic problems. So for that purpose, you should know what are the basic economic problems. So what to produce, how to produce, where to sell the product. These are the basic economic problems. By using the economic theory and economic concepts, you can analyze or you can solve your basic economic problem. Again, you should understand the managerial economic techniques. It is the techniques where the economic concepts and economic theory is actually applied for the purpose of business decision. So it has some steps that I had explained you. Again, there is a one type, that is a law of demand, which indicates the inverse relationship between price and demand. But here elasticity of demand focuses on the exact changes of prices and their impact on the demand. So again, it has categorized under three categories, that is price elasticity, income elasticity, and cross elasticity. So price elasticity, which indicates once the price of the commodity changes, so it may impact on quantity demanded of the product. Income of the people changes, so it may impact on the quantity demanded of the product. Cross elasticity, which indicates the price of the another commodity changes, so it may be impact on the another commodity or another demand of the commodity. It means here you can observe that, so these three types are very basic and very important to understand. So again, price elasticity has categorized under the five different parameters. First type is a perfectly elastic. Perfectly elastic means whatever the price increases or decreases, it may impact largely on quantity demanded. Then perfectly inelastic, whatever the changes in the price of the product, but it may not impact on the quantity demanded. That is a perfectly inelastic. कितीही प्राइस मध्ये कमी जास्त हो, पण त्याच्या डिमांड मध्ये वाढही होत नाही, घटही होत नाही. दॅट इज परफेक्टली इनइलास्टिक. Unitary elastic, 10% rise in the price, 10% decrease in the quantity demanded, and vice versa. So that is the unitary elastic. जेवढा प्राइसमध्ये घट तेवढी डिमांडमध्ये वाढ, किंवा जेवढी प्राइसमध्ये वाढ तेवढी डिमांडमध्ये घट. As simple as to understand unitary elastic demand. Number 4, relatively elastic. It means highly elastic. Whatever the changes in the price may impact on their quantity demand. But whatever the change in the price, it may not impact on the quantity demanded. It is a relatively inelastic. That is highly elastic. So same thing is with the income elasticity of demand. So this is very important for finance minister's point of view. So it is important for various categories which are directly or indirectly involved with making the union budget as well as the financial plan for our economic activity. So they may used this concept, that is elasticity of demand. While understanding the price elasticity or while measuring the price elasticity of demand, so there are some methods are given. So methods are given like point method or statistical methods. So that type of methods, arc methods. So that type of methods can you can apply or you can use that type of methods for identifying and solving the price elasticity of demand problem. Again, where the Baumol's model, static model and the dynamic model. So both models indicates what it indicates, the sales maximization. They focused on the sales maximization. So whatever the changes in the price and their impact on the quantity demanded, may be calculated, finally it may be calculated on whatever the profit is increased by the or earned by the business. So these are the basic concepts, and I hope you understand these all concepts very well. I have many times repeated it, so I request you to please read the entire unit and try to understand the basic concepts of economics. If you have any query, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Even you can write a text message to me. Even in the chat box, you can write, "Sir, please explain this concept, please explain this concept," or whatever. Okay, so I hope that's it for today's lecture, because the next topic is a demand forecasting. So once it requires 1 hour complete. So I hope we should stop now. Okay, and in the next lecture we will continue with the demand forecasting, what is demand forecasting, and demand forecasting methods. Tomorrow there is a lecture of Indian economy, but we will continue with the economic analysis. And the day after tomorrow, we will continue with the Indian economy subject. Okay? Yes. Okay. Bye. Now you can left the meeting.